Hello and welcome to another edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani Saint-Jean.
And I'm Tarnia Green. Stay with us for the details of the headline stories and others right after the break.
Let your spirit take to flight. Let your heart run free and wild. Find your soul in Dominica, the nature
The facts as they are, brought to you every day, only on GIS Channel 7.
Welcome back. Members of the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, the FCCA, has been experiencing the Dominica tourism product firsthand. Cruise executives from Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, Princess, and Disney Cruise Lines formed the group of decision makers and influencers of the cruise industry in Dominica. They were on the island to assess key investments made by the government to improve the tourism product. Minister for Tourism, Honorable Ian Douglas, spoke about the objectives of the FCCA's trip to Dominica.
We have had a long-lasting and very fruitful and productive relationship with the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association and its member lines. And it is that relationship that has brought our friends here to Dominica to continue the collaboration, for them to see firsthand the work that we have been doing over the years to continue to improve the product, to continue to enhance our guest experience, and to continue to bring us back to a place of prominence among the ports of the Caribbean.
A series of dialogues have been held amongst the representatives and also its stakeholders to discuss the issues that continue to impact heavily on the sector. Douglas says government continues to address many of the issues, but was very clear in stating that not all of the issues rests on the government. He highlighted several developments by government to improve and enhance the tourism experience thus far.
The investment that we have made at the filtration system at Antrim. We've put in a state-of-the-art filtration system, and again the 500,000 gallon water storage tank that we have built up at Monbrus, so that we have dedicated fresh potable water to be supplied to the ships without affecting the supplies of Roseau and its environs or the stadium. All of those major investments have really been done. The Roseau Road Improvement Project, upgrading the road into the valley, because a lot of the sites and attractions, you will know, are situated in the Roseau Valley area. That is to enhance the product, giving the bus drivers duty free so that they can upgrade their fleet.
The minister also mentioned the upgrade of road from Melville Hall Airport to Port Cassé and from Port Cassé to Roseau, the upgrade of the Melville Hall Airport and runway, and the fendering system at the port. Guest experience, according to the tourism minister, is the one critical area that all Dominicans should be concerned with.
What is important in the industry, as we have always said, guest experience, visitor experience in the destination, that really can affect the rating of the destination. And you know, we have a number of ports from Bahamas, up in the north, all the way down to South and Central America. All of those destinations offer themselves as cruise destinations, and so it is incumbent upon us in Dominica to appreciate the fact that the product must always be second to none. It must always be the best, so that we can continue to enjoy some of the higher ratings.
Federico Gonzalez Denton, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines Director for Government Relations in Latin America, the Caribbean, and Asia, noted a significant loophole, one that Dominicans ought to pay attention to. He says while Dominica has many factors working for it, Surveys indicate a serious gap in the experience that visitors encounter between organized tours and times when tourists opt to casually traverse the island alone.
If you take an organized tour in Dominica, your experience in Dominica is going to be probably one of the best in the whole region if you take an organized tour in Dominica. But if you go independent, if you go your own way not on an organized tour, your experience in Dominica is going to be probably one of the worst in the region. So there is like a huge disconnect between the guest experience in an organized tour or in an independent tour. So that's why this is an issue that we have been discussing at length. We had the opportunity, as the minister said, to discuss with the stakeholders. I think they got the message. But it's very dramatic, the different experience that a guest can have in Dominica if they go on an organized tour or if they go their own way. Is very dramatic.
And the question remains, how does the country bridge that gap? Lisa Jensen, manager for the Caribbean and Atlantic Shore operations with Princess Cruise Lines, reminded Dominicans that tourism is the business of every individual and Dominica should be portrayed in a positive light.
It's only a benefit to you to make sure that you have the right people in place to be able to provide these experiences, whether they be through the cruise line or independently. So I would just encourage you to, make sure that those people who are representing your country are really, truly representing your country well.
The government of Dominica, along with tourism stakeholders, according to Badwill, are ensuring that the preemptive measures are executed so visitors can experience Dominica.
The government of Dominica, along with the various stakeholders, is making a concerted effort to ensure that the quality standards that Dominica provide and that the experience that Dominica provides continually increases as we seek to entertain our guests.
Drumming and soulful chants of African rhythms set the tone for the beginning of the 50th anniversary of African Liberation Day celebrations in Dominica on Tuesday. An afternoon ceremony at the Arawak House of Culture put on by the House of Nyabingi in collaboration with the government of Dominica heard a number of addresses from government officials and saw a number of drumming and song presentations. Saturday, May 25th, 2013, will mark the 50th anniversary of African Liberation Day since its establishment in 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, in addressing the Rastafarian community and other members of the public, assured them that his government has fully embraced African Liberation Day celebrations as a national one.
This government recognizes the importance and relevance of African Liberation Day, not simply out of a basic sense of solidarity with our African brothers and sisters, but because as descendants of Africans, we have a responsibility to do so. In observing African Liberation Day, we are also reaffirming our identity, our Africanity, the African elements of our cultural heritage. This government, in collaboration with the House of Nyabingi, is in the observance of African Liberation Day so as to secure greater participation and involvement by the population. It appears that some people have not gotten involved for a range of reasons. However, we need to broaden our vision. We need to look at the bigger picture, and we have to look at ourselves, who we are, where we came from, and where we are heading. When we do all this, we will then realize that a day for Africa is also a day for us.
Dominica has been actively participating in African Liberation Day activities since 1972. Prime Minister Skerrit expounded on the significance of the day for us in Dominica, saying that it should be used as an opportunity to reaffirm the African element of our cultural heritage. The Prime Minister called for African Liberation Day activities to be all-inclusive.
We therefore must endeavor to make the celebrations more inclusive, to make the celebrations a truly national one. This is the context of government's engagement with the African Liberation Day celebrations. In light of all of this, I urge our citizens to get involved, to participate in African Liberation Day activities, to express your Africanity in various ways. In the final analysis, when we celebrate Africa Day as an expression of solidarity with Africa, we are in fact expressing solidarity for our own people here in Dominica and in the Caribbean. We are reaffirming our African culture and identity.
Prime Minister Skerrit thanked the House of Nyabingi for keeping true to the African liberation cause and pledged his government's continued support in the celebration of the day in Dominica.
Let me once again thank the House of Nyabingi for remaining steadfast to the African liberation cause. They have led and championed the need for us as a country, as a people, to celebrate African Liberation Day. African Liberation Day is not a Rasta man thing. It is our thing as a people, as a nation, and as a region. And I want to say that from henceforth, this government shall continue to recognize and to play its part in the celebration of African Liberation Day as part of our national events, national calendar of events in Dominica. And in the same manner in which we celebrate other days, I do hope that next year we can have the young people here to listen to the lectures of Ras Shaw, who gave a brilliant speech today, educating us, and also challenging us.
Meanwhile, representative of the House of Nyabingi, Kimani Shaw, told those gathered for the official launch of the celebrations that his group is working with government to highlight the growing call for spiritual and mental liberation. Shaw is suggesting that as Dominica moves forward as an independent nation, certain behaviors and practices must change if its people are to be truly liberated.
When as a nation we don't follow the example of what created so many centenarians, there is need for liberation. When we accept that we must be told what to do and how to do it, there is need for liberation. When we accept the teachings of our slave master, whether in religion or politics, a slave master who never treated us well, therefore could not teach us well, there is need for liberation. When we lose our kudme, loving spirit, there is need for liberation. When a village can no longer raise a child, there is need for liberation. When we are quickly losing the grow what we eat and eat what we grow philosophy and rely on foreign foods, causing us to succumb to diseases, there is need for liberation.
The 50th anniversary of African Day celebrations in Dominica will be highlighted in the memory and honor of our African ancestors who sacrificed their lives in the pursuit of freedom. As part of local celebrations here, an art and craft exhibition is being staged at the Newtown Community Center.
Tuesday marked the continuation of water integration discussions between the governments of Dominica and Colombia, which took the form of a workshop at Roseau Fisheries Complex. The workshop focused on integrated water resource management. At this event, Consuelo Onofre, advisor to the National Environment Studies at the Institute of Colombia, discussed the focus of the workshop, which is to allow for Dominica and Colombia to share their knowledge in the area of water management. As a result of this workshop, the countries will be able to aid each other in sharing more applicable methods of water conservation. The partnership began in March when a Colombian team visited Dominica to host the workshop on water loss management and control. Water Resource Management Minister Reginald Austrie and a team of 5 DOWASCO employees subsequently visited Colombia to see firsthand Colombian methods of managing water.
According to the work agenda that was established last year, and also according to the meetings that we had a year ago with the ministries and DOWASCO, where we drafted this agenda for the year, we will, as I said, be carrying out an essentially technical workshop with the intention of showing the progress that Colombia has made regarding the water management policy, also showing the progress that has been made on the research and the studies on water dynamics in the country, and also with a view to tell you about our experiences, successful as well as the mistakes that we've made. And then with the hope that you take this experience and be able to apply what is useful to you in your own water management processes.
Davis Leighton, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Water Resource Management, said this collaboration was initiated in 2012, and since then the fruits of this partnership have already become apparent. He went on to express his expectations of this collaboration.
I am also optimistic that this cooperation program on water will help build mutual respect, understanding, and trust among our two countries and promote peace, security, and sustainable growth for both of us.
Leighton further expounded on the various aims of the workshop, while he emphasized that cooperation in water research management at all levels is essential if Dominica and Colombia are to ensure water security for both the present and future generations.
I see this as very relevant since we are in the process of reviewing the draft national policy on integrated water resource management, which was prepared with the assistance of the Caribbean Health Institute, CE, Caribbean Environmental Health Institute, CE, the Organization of American States, and the Integrated Water and Coastal Area Management, IWCAM. This policy, we hope, will serve as a framework for guiding activities in the sector and will seek to define more clearly rules for all relevant stakeholders in water resource management.
The Integrated Water Resource Management Workshop complements the UN initiative to declare this year as the Year for Cooperation on Water. The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development has announced that 1,100 students across Dominica will sit the Grade 6 National Assessment this Thursday and Friday, May 23rd and 24th. The examination will consist of 5 papers: Language 1 and 2, Social Studies, Mathematics, and Science. The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development advises students that they should be at the examination center no later than 7:45 a.m. So Tarnia, I'm guessing that many of the students, they have already prepared for the exam. Normally they do things like past papers, extra classes, and so on. So I'm guessing that they are well prepared. But what I think is important is what happens in the exam room on Thursday and Friday morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I think so too. And in preparation for that, I think the parents has a responsibility, as well as the teachers have a great responsibility as well. And oftentimes you find that parents pressure their children to do extremely well at the common entrance examinations. And this should not be done the day prior to the child sitting the examinations. It should be a continuous process in preparation for the examinations, probably a year before, 2 years before, that kind of thing. Yeah. And you find that a lot of times parents, put added pressure on the children the day before.
Yeah.
And it should be a situation where the children should be really going into the examinations in a relaxed mood, you know,
yes.
having been well prepared. They will get up in the morning at a reasonable time, have a proper night rest, meaning that they should go to bed at a good time, at a good hour, to ensure that they have a good night rest. They get up in the morning, they have a good breakfast,
yes.
They leave home on time so that they get to the examinations venue on time.
Well, they said 7:45, but if they could make it for even 7:30, you know, that would be important. And I think being relaxed is very important, because when you get to the exam, you want to make sure you remember everything that you have studied. You want to make sure that you read the instructions carefully, because that really is what is important. Even if you've studied and you didn't follow instructions and you don't do what is required of you, then you could fail the exam.
Yes.
So students need to be calm, they need to read the instructions, and they need to make sure that they follow exactly what is required of them. And the government of Dominica is continuing to support students by giving scholarships and bursaries, helping them with their textbooks and uniforms, and even with free transportation in various communities to different high schools. So
Yes. So we want to wish the students all the best tomorrow and Friday in their grade 6 national assessment. And that's the English segment of the news. Let's now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique a travaillé avec un policier qui a gouverné le management de l'eau en Dominique. Compagnie de Wasco a tenu un workshop en collaboration avec Colombia, discuter policier salam. M. Davis Letton, c'est permanent secrétaire, ministre pour le management de l'eau.
Comme ça, en Dominique, nous aussi, regardé en policy pour ça faire l'eau. Nous avons assistance de CI, OAS, IW, CAM pour mettre policy ça en place, mais policy il peut encore fini et nous hope ça durant 3 jours ça that c'est participants qui aussi pour un moment pour garder documents et ça c'est Colombiens là qui a dit nous qui a fait en Colombie comment nous ça ranger ça nous a fait mais en Dominique. So c'est ça nous qui a fait pour des 3 jours nous qui ici pour workshop ça là.
Ministre de l'Éducation a annoncé que l'examination pour assessment grade 6 qui prend place à semaine salam. Yon 1100 avec 55 étudiants, en parmi 600 avec 5 garçons et puis 500 avec 50 filles qui écrit examination là. Examination là qui a commencé à 8 h en 50 l'occasion tout en pays là. Mercredi que voit ces étudiants là écrit language yon et puis D et puis social studies et puis vendredi yo que écrit maths et puis sciences. Ministre de l'Éducation a avisé parents qui étudiants supposés en cette occasion là par 7h45 demain bon matin et puis vendredi ça c'est 15 minutes avant le café 8h. Finalement, messieurs et mesdames, State College Dominica un programme échange, ça c'est étudiant Dominique qui a une opportunité pour aller à l'université en Canada pendant que Canada qui descend ici en Dominique. Parole celle-là qui a sorti votre officier State College Dominic, Mr. Roll Leslie.
Un programme programme ça nous Caribbean Education for Employment Program. It's in exchange parce que lecturers à State College qui ont le Canada pour trainer different subjects. Et bien il a commencé tout de suite à mois juillet nous tenons 4 mois Canada pour un mois de training ça là. Nani qui a venu moi passé comme un student qui allait au Canada pour trainer à programme ça là aussi.
Messieurs et mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Au revoir.
Stay tuned for a tip on how to reach your financial goals.
Documentaries and in-depth discussions, community walkthroughs, and Yes We Care. See it all on GIS Channel 7.
If you jump into budgeting without a positive attitude, you are likely to give up before you've even seen the difference a spending plan can make in your life. Begin by totaling your monthly income and monthly expenses. If your end result shows more income than expenses, you are off to a good start.
However, if you are in a situation where expenses are higher than your income, you should look at your variable expenses to find areas to cut. After the first month of planning your expenses, take a minute to sit down and compare the actual expenses versus what you would have created in the budget. This will show where you did well and where you may need to improve. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm.
Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Kimani St. Jean.
And I'm Tarnia Green. Thank you so much for watching, and do remember to join us again tomorrow.